Disney World is offering mask-free relaxation zones. A church tells parishioners to join us and be infected by God's holy corona. A Canadian stops a skinny dipping spree, and a Florida anti-mask group rewarded some maskless diners with free food. These are the weird stories for Florida Friday, baby. That's right. It's Friday. All of these weird stories coming out of your favorite state, Florida, as we always do on Friday. This is Jonesy of Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian, and the only weird news podcast that does Florida Fridays. Let's go.
Those bizarre stories you hear about all the time that seem to only happen here in Florida. I know, right?
Can't make this stuff up. It is just one of the many wacky news stories out of Florida.
Why does the Sunshine State consistently produce such strange news?
But what accounts for all this bizarre news? Is it the weather? Is it the people?
Florida is full of the crazy stories.
Disney World offers mask-free relaxation zones. How relaxing to be with strangers and not have your mask on. You know what I mean? Orlando, Florida. There's no need to ask to remove your mask in the zone. Walt Disney World has reportedly opened several designated zones throughout its theme parks where visitors can remove the required facial coverings. After a 4-month closure amid the coronavirus health crisis, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom welcomed visitors once again as the Orlando, Florida theme park began its phased reopening, while Disney World has doubled down with enhanced health and safety measures to protect the park goers and the employees upon reopening amid the ongoing outbreak. The most magical place on earth has allegedly added some specific spaces known as relaxation zones, where the guests can remove their face masks and relax. Within these designated spaces, guests can remove their masks and enjoy some downtime, while spaced 10 feet apart from other parties inside the relaxation zone. I'm looking at a photo of the relaxation zone, and I'm imagining it filled with people. It looks like a cafeteria, really, and it doesn't look that relaxing at all. You won't catch me in the relaxation zone without a mask. You actually won't catch me at Disney without a mask. You won't catch me in the state of Florida anytime soon, now that we're on the case. And those of you who are going to Disney World, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Mask or no mask. And then if you're at Disney and then you go to the relaxation zone and you take your mask off, you're just the dumbest organism on the planet. And you might as well prepare to relax on a ventilator after that experience, really. Now, according to Dr. Pamela Heimel, Chief Medical Officer for Disney Parks Experiences, are we supposed to take this doctor seriously? Yes, I'm the doctor for Disney. Okay. You're basically a cartoon character, Dr. Heimel. And I'm sure any of your policies are all going to lead to reopening the parks because that's what you're paid for. The doctor says, no worries. Face coverings are required for employees and guests over age 2 unless eating, drinking, or swimming. So anybody under age 2 can have no mask? Is that what you're saying? What about the relaxation zones, Dr. Heimel? What's going on here? One of them I'm reading is indoors. You gonna my mask off inside with a bunch of strangers? Really? Honestly? It says here the policy will be enforced across all parks and resorts. Meanwhile, on social media, some Twitter users have blasted the relaxation zones as ridiculous and irresponsible as the cases have surged in the Sunshine State. Yeah, reopening Disney, completely irresponsible given the number of cases in Florida. I mean, it's out of control. You probably shouldn't have strangers sharing a water slide and such things. That's my opinion. It's a COVID world after all. It's a COVID world. Ugh. A Florida church tells parishioners to come and join us and be infected by God's holy corona. This was a sign outside the Westminster Presbyterian Church. It says, join us and be infected by God's holy corona. And then it tells you the time of worship so you can go and get the corona. This church has come under criticism, of course. It's the Westminster Presbyterian Church in Milton. And it shared the bizarre invitation during a time when the state is seeing a staggering number of new coronavirus cases. Local residents have slammed this insensitive sign outside the church, saying, one man said, "My wife told me about it. She was told by one of her friends, so we went to go see if it was true, and you know what? My reaction was that of disbelief. I tell you, how could they be so callous? My first reaction was, I must have misread this. I couldn't believe anyone would actually display such tone-deaf foolishness. I've never seen an overwhelming amount of posts on social media suggesting that it's a hoax or downplaying the seriousness of the virus. It's unbelievable." Speaking to the local news, a mother who lives in the area said whoever put up this sign should be ashamed of themselves. She said, I don't think they actually understand how many people are dying from this. They should be ashamed of themselves. However, there's always a however. Deacon Bruce Schenk, who I assume is part of this Presbyterian organization, told the media the whole thing was a misunderstanding, and that the church wasn't actually inviting people to come and get infected. Guys, it's just a misunderstanding. I thought that they would understand that even though it says corona and it says the word infected, it says both corona and the word infected on the sign in big letters. But my idea was people should be infected with the love of Jesus, like the love of Jesus, like come back to church and get right with everything, That's what I meant. The silly people, though, they misunderstood me. I don't know why. I never thought in my wildest dreams that people would misinterpret what we were trying to say on the sign with the words corona and infected. I just couldn't in my wildest dreams imagine. The deacon, who's a total moron, said that the church had actually implemented strict safety precautions to try and stop the spread of this virus. Good for you, deacon. You know what you ought to do? You ought to shut down is what you should do. There should be no church going right now in Florida, just as there should be no water slide activity as well. The locals say that they understand the sign wasn't an invitation to come and literally get infected. But wait, don't be too sure. In my opinion, there are going to be people in Florida who have half a brain, and they're going to think that that's what the sign means. And then out of those people, there's going to be a few who are actually going to take up the invitation. They're going to show up and go, "Wow, is it free? Can I get infected for free? This is wonderful. Come on. I've been sinning. Give me that virus. Just lay your viral hands on my head. I'm a sinner and I need to be saved. I need to be infected by the virus and the love of Jesus right now. Give it to me." I mean, there might be people that do that. I don't know. I'd imagine it's Florida.
It's Florida Friday, only on Weird AF News.
A young woman from Florida was on a skinny dipping spree until she was stopped by a Canadian. I love it. We're bringing Canada and Florida together in one story. This is fabulous. A young Florida woman who loves to swim in the nude found herself in some legal trouble thanks to her Canadian neighbor's security cameras. Capri Weidman, age 22, was arrested for trespassing and burglary after allegedly repeatedly going skinny dipping at her neighbor's house. Capri Weidman apparently thought nobody was home and nobody would be the wiser. And of course it's Canada, so people probably leave their doors all open and shit. Because no one's really preparing for anyone from Florida to come by the neighborhood, really. If you had a dose of Florida in Canada, you would start locking your doors, I'll tell you right now. Maybe this is the first case, though, and now you guys will get with it. Cameras everywhere. The neighbor was watching from far away and says his pool cage was cut open and a steak knife was found at the scene. Ooh, he did have his pool locked up, apparently. The police found cigarettes, keys, women's underwear, and the steak knife left behind at the pool. The neighbor has been unable to travel back to Florida. Oh, so this girl can't go back to Florida because of COVID-19 related travel restrictions. She's repeatedly broken in and swam in this guy's pool, apparently. This man says he sent letters and put up signs, but nothing worked, so he had to finally call the police. Put up signs. "Stop breaking into my pool, you naked Floridian. You Floridian hussy, stay away from my property." Oh, you silly Canadians. Don't you know that Floridians can't read? The report here says Capri Weidman tried to lie her way out of this arrest, but her own mother said she swims in the neighbor's pool every other day. The mother just threw her under the bus. Yes, no, I see her go in there. I just assumed that she was friends with the neighbors. No, she swims there every day. I'll tell you, in this instance, the Canadians really got off easy because all she did was break into the pool, take her clothes off, and get in for the most part. Your typical Floridian would have broke into the house and made some ramen noodles or taken a crap on the counter or something. You know, this was very light. This is a light Florida crime. We're just easing you into the Florida, Canada at this point. It's all downhill from here. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Yay! Florida anti-mask advocates gave free meals to people without masks. This is ridiculous. How could you be anti-mask in Florida right now? Anti-mask advocates in Florida protested the mandatory use of face coverings during an event where, inside a restaurant, probably pretty packed, this was in Orlando this week, those responsible for the gathering offered some free meals to 100 patrons who opted to dine at the establishment without wearing a face mask. Come and get it. Is getting the virus worth some free French fries, is what I want to know. A video of the weekend's rally showed the Central Florida restaurant and bar, 33 and Melt, served dozens of customers that day. No one in the video appears to be wearing a mask. Of course, you don't get the free meal if you're wearing the mask. Author of this article, of course they're not wearing a mask. I gotta get my free mac and cheese. And a cough. Near the beginning of the video, law enforcement officers identified as agents from Florida's Division of Alcohol, Beverages, and Tobacco entered 33 and Melt to confront the establishment's owner. The details of their discussion could not be heard in the video. Did they arrest the owner? Did they put a stop to this event? I don't understand how you can allow this to go on if you're a law enforcement person. I mean, how is this okay? Anti-mask activist Tara Hill, Chris Nelson. Is this what they call themselves? I'm an anti-mask activist. They followed the agents outside to ask if they intended to revoke the establishment's alcohol license. When the agents did not reply, the activists told them, "It's wrong what you're doing." The group then began to chant, "This is America! This is America!" Yeah, this is America. All right. Where apparently in a state where the cases are surging to a level that's just so alarming that I can't even, it makes your head spin. These events are allowed to go on, apparently. Even when the law enforcement shows up, they do not shut it down. I don't know how. Nelson is one of Reopen Florida's lead organizers, according to Facebook. Reopen Florida has protested restrictions implemented in response to the coronavirus pandemic since at least mid-April. And local news outlets have linked Hill to the group as well. How is this Facebook group allowed to flourish, by the way? I see Facebook shutting down people's accounts for hate speech. Well, in a way, isn't this some kind of dangerous speech? You're telling people in Florida not to wear a mask and to join their group. In fact, show up to a crowded restaurant and get a free burger while you're at it. I mean, this is super dangerous. Newsweek reached out to Reopen Florida, 33 and Melt, and the Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation for comment, but didn't receive any replies. Unbelievable. The demonstration was organized about 3 weeks after officials in Orange County, where Orlando is located, issued an order requiring all residents to wear face masks in public areas, as they should. The article goes on, sadly, to give you the stats in Florida, but I don't have to remind you of how bad it is. I mean, it's a chapter, as my friend CV would say, which makes these activists even more silly. It's just silly behavior. Downright foolishness, I might even add. I would absolutely love to hear from some of my weirdos on this story. 646-450-2012. Yay, Florida. If you like podcasts, check out Spotify. You can listen to all your favorite artists and podcasts in one place for free. You don't even need a premium account. Spotify has a huge selection of podcasts on every topic, including this one that you're listening to right now. And you can easily share what you're listening to with friends on Instagram as well. So download the Spotify app, search for your favorite podcast, and also make sure to follow Weird AF News and never miss an episode. Yes, download Spotify and make your life easier. Hey, what's up, weirdos? Thanks for listening to another episode of Florida Friday. I hope you're safe with your loved ones. I came across something that I think might be fun. The USA has many state songs and anthems, and I think I came across the Florida one. I'm going to play a piece of it. I could be wrong. Let me hear. Let me play this for you.
Where the young and the old have the same common goal to make me their home. I am Florida.
Has anybody ever heard that song before? This is my first time coming across. It's called I Am Florida. I would so like to rewrite this song. Where everybody acts like a stupid ass. None of them are ever wearing masks. Yeah. We are Florida. Something like that would be hilarious. Yeah. So state songs, man. That's the thing. I didn't really realize. I know there's state birds and state diseases and whatnot, but I didn't know there was. What's the Florida state disease? Chlamydia? What is? All right. Enough with the Florida jokes. Okay, let's get serious. Follow me for the weekend if you're not doing anything. At Funny Jones on Instagram. Let's see what I'm up to. Not a whole lot, probably working. But I hope you guys are having a good time. Join the Patreon. Check out the Patreon. Patreon.com/WeirdAFNews, where I'll be posting that video response to all the questions that are in there. And you can also enjoy some bonus episodes and whatnot by joining the Patreon. And you get to send Jonesy a couple bucks, like buying me a cup of coffee a month, which is pretty cool. And you get to feel good, man, don't you? I mean, what's the price of feeling good? There's no price on feeling good. You just, it's invaluable. Lastly, I want to thank everyone who sent me Florida articles. Super helpful. A lot of funny stuff in there this week, so I appreciate that. A lot of COVID-related stuff, which I didn't want to do, but it just kind of fell that way. But so thanks for sending those. Lastly, tell a friend to listen to Weird AF News over the weekend while you're doing your thing. I hope you're not socializing too much, by the way. Please social distance. But you can still tell someone to listen to the podcast while you're social distancing. You can yell it across the room. Even with a mask on, they can hear it. So try that for me. I'd so appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I hope I've entertained you and maybe you learned something. And if you are from Florida or living in Florida or you know anything about Florida, if you know this song, I Am Florida, I'd like some information on that. Just please call the show and let me know if this is legitimate. Okay, have a great weekend. See you Monday.